What the hell is live mean?
We had a great pre-party.
Today we are celebrating Chris Hemsworth's birthday.
No, Penny. It's your birthday, Penny.
It's your birthday, Penny.
Happy
Exactly.
birthday, Penny.
Happy birthday, Penny.
We have such an awesome group of people here. We have Carolyn Mayberry.
Hello.
She has an astrology channel. You may have seen it. She makes awesome videos. She has all the moon signs on there. And we have Chris Strickland. I don't know if you can see him right now. He's a musician. I love his stuff. And Crystal Lynn, another awesome astrologer.
Woo! Woohoo!
Tamara, yes, my good friend from a long who you may never have seen before, but she is awesome.
Yeah, I'm not an astrologer or anything. I'm just weird.
You are extraordinary in your own way.
Why, thank you.
And we have Walter.
I will take that to like.
My good friend Walter. Another extraordinary individual. Hopefully he's going to start his own like Google Hangout things because I really want him to do that.
It should be like something about the beard, man. It has to, yeah, something about the beard, man. That thing's epic.
Thank you.
I think
need that
it's
for,
the
like,
camera
winter.
angle.
So what about this game? Are we gonna play a game?
Yeah.
All right.
He sounds like that guy from Saw over here. Let's play a game.
It would be fun. Come on.
No, who wants to go first?
Penny needs to decide the game.
Penny's the birthday girl. Oh, look at little Batgirl. She's so
Oh my god! Sorry.
All right, Penny, decide the game.
Oh my god, the cape. Oh my god, I can't take it. Oh my god, I can't take the cute.
Yeah, Penny gets the cute little girl, and I get the little boy that's peeing on me in the videos with the frog. I'm doing a video today, and my son walks up to show me a frog, interrupts the video, and it pees all over me. That's what I get.
It literally squirted urine. Just like the video's only like 39 seconds long, and it's just the best 39 seconds of your life. Oh my god. It was hysterical. I'm sorry. It literally peed all over you. How does that happen?
It was funny, you know.
Your son is so cute, Crystal. Oh my god.
Is little Capricorn.
It's so interesting when you, especially, you know, this is my third child, but he was kind of my little sneaky, you know, my midlife crisis child, you know. I always tell people I got knocked up in my midlife crisis, you know. So it's supposed to be funny. And now that I know astrology, it's so interesting to see it play out. Like from the day they're born, you can see these little attributes and personality traits. He's a Capricorn.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Well, he's an Aries rising Capricorn, and with Moon and Sag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
try
good.
that one on.
It doesn't have a little spunk to the Cap energy.
So I got a question for you guys.
Hang on just a second. We need to introduce. I think everyone should introduce themselves and just say what their signs are. Like if you know you're rising.
Oh, good call.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. I was thinking of that. Come on.
That's what I was gonna
She
say.
said it first.
All right, let's start with Carolyn because she's on the left.
Okay. All right. My name is Carolyn Mayberry. You can find my channel if you search my name. I love astrology, but anyway, I'm a Cancer. I am a Scorpio rising and a Libra moon.
You're what now? Say that last part again.
Libra moon, Scorpio rising, Cancer sun, Virgo Mars and Venus. Leo, I have Mercury and Jupiter conjunct, and my MC is Virgo. So I got Virgo, but I'm really watery. Anyway, yeah, that's me.
Thanks for sharing.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me, Penny. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Chris, are you there?
Oh, am I next?
Yeah.
Okay. I am a Leo, sun sign in the 8th house. I'm a Scorpio moon in the 10th house. I am a. Are we just doing inner planets? Oh, I'm a Capricorn rising.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Mercury in Virgo, 8th house. Venus in Cancer, 7th house. And Mars and Aries in the 3rd.
All right. Crystal, you're up.
Me?
Yeah.
I am a Pisces rising and a moon in Pisces. So I guess you would call me the double Pisces. And I have a sun in Virgo, a lot conjunct Jupiter and Uranus. So
Holy
I think
shit.
that's
Oh,
something
boy.
crazy.
You have a moon in Pisces and a sun in Virgo?
Yes, I have the opposition.
I'm sorry.
And her rising is Pisces, too.
Yes, rising and moon in Pisces. And I have Mercury and Venus in Libra, and I'm a Mars in Leo.
Woo!
All these Mars and fire signs, I'm so jealous.
The fire
I just wanna
sign
pinch your
saves
cheeks.
my butt because all that watery and all that earthy stuff. But you know, I always tell people you don't want to pin a Mars and Leo up against the corner. They come out. Rrr.
Okay, Tamara. Woo.
Me? Okay, I don't know a damn thing about any of that, but I would like to. So if anyone ever wants to like teach me that stuff, that'd be awesome. But all I know is I'm an Aquarius. I was born January 22nd at 1977, 12:20 p.m. That's all I know.
Oh, you do know your birth time.
Hold on, I'm
Yeah,
looking
my
now.
mom told me.
My mom told me that yesterday.
Remember, I looked. I'm pretty sure you're an Aquarius rising, sun, and moon, and then your sun's in the 12th house.
Really?
Wait,
Oh,
it's
wow.
all Aquarius?
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't run into a triple of a sign very often.
No. One of my best friends is Sun Scorpio, Rising Scorpio, and Moon Scorpio.
I can never meet that
He is
person.
fucking insane.
Pluto Scorpio?
See, I am
Pluto and
so
Scorpio too?
flighty though. Like, I have like 1,000,001 things I have to do, like I want to do, and I have all these like
'Cause you're an air sign.
outstanding
You're a triple air
dreams and
sign.
goals. Yeah, but I never do any of them because I'm like, I start everything and I never finish because I'm like so bombarded with everything I must do to make everything a better place. You know?
Too intellectual.
It drives my boyfriend nuts because he's a Taurus.
That's interesting.
Oh,
You know.
those courses.
And
You're
he's like,
so-
you gotta get stuff done. I'm like, I am, but I gotta first look at this aspect. I'm just like, yeah. I'm just like, woo, you know? Like, and he's all like down on the ground, on the earth here, and I'm like somewhere in the clouds. I don't know where I'm at half the time, you know?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that the Aquarius, especially with that much, you guys are the #1 channelers to other dimensions. So you are probably getting a lot of messages that you have to.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
you
talk
have to
about
go
that
through it.
that much because people think I'm crazy. You know, I tend to like plug into other dimensions. It seems like I get messages from all over the place, and like
Oh, yeah.
I find out when I research it that these people really did exist. And I'm like, oh my god, you know. But yeah, it's kind of cool. But everyone thinks I'm nuts, so I don't talk about it very much.
You're not nuts.
Who's next?
Walter.
The beard.
I am a late degrees, 28 degrees Capricorn ascendant. First degree.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. I also have Sun in the first house. No, wait. Moon in the first house in Aquarius and Sun in the third house in Taurus. First degree Taurus. I'm not one of those Tauruses.
Are you sure?
Thank God.
And I'm not one of those Virgos.
And I'm not one of those cancers.
Thank you, Crystal. Virgos drive me up the fucking wall.
Did you notice how everyone's like, you're not like one of those, you know, like
Exactly, yeah,
like
that
this, you know?
I also
Pointing
have,
at it like, don't do that, man.
I have Venus in Pisces, 29 degrees in the second house, right along I have Jupiter in Aries, and I also had in the second house, which has left me poor, and and Mars and Gemini.
Walter, your Venus at 29 Pisces is trining my ascendant because I'm a 29 degrees Scorpio rising, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
And my MC's in Scorpio, 22 degrees. Penny,
Okay.
the birthday girl.
Okay, Wacko Witch.
Oh, yeah. Penny, can you see me? Happy birthday. Sorry.
Hi.
We were just introducing everyone and saying, like, your sun sign, rising sign, moon sign, anything you want to share.
Oh, okay. My name is Ayana, and I'm a Libra and an Aries rising.
Woo! All right. Is that it?
What's her moon sign? I didn't hear the moon.
Oh, I'm a Scorpio. My moon's in Scorpio.
Oh,
Me
shit.
too.
Yeah, alright. Cool.
We got a
Shout
nice
out to the
combination.
There's a lot of
Scorpio moon.
Scorpio and Capricorn energy here, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Right?
Scorpio moons.
Well, that's okay. If anyone gets any fight, I'll make it better. That's my job.
Shout out to the 8th house suns. Woo! Jay, Chris, Carolyn. Woo!
That needs to be on a T-shirt somewhere.
Little 8th house sun right here.
Yeah. I think that's
So
another
what's-
reason why I love her.
So what's Jade?
Jade has her sun in Scorpio in the 8th house. Her rising sign is Aquarius.
Yeah, bitch, that's it.
Sign is in Leo. I love Leo names. They're great. My
She
sun
is so
Has a
cute.
big smile.
Oh, she's a Leo moon. Oh,
Yeah.
that's such great news. She needs that, like, lightheartedness in
Look at her
Scorpio
face.
Sun's house. She is so sweet. Oh, my goodness. She's
I get a kick
beautiful.
out of your baby, Penny. Your baby's so funny.
She's so cute. Oh my god.
I love her.
Sun in Leo, Virgo rising, Moon in Capricorn, Venus in Virgo. What else do I have? Jupiter in Virgo, Mercury in Leo, Uranus, Neptune in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius. I think that's it.
Where's your Mars?
Oh, Gemini!
Oh, okay.
Mars and Gemini, Mars and Gemini.
Oh yeah, I knew that because you always type long ass statuses on Facebook. I read them too; they're very insightful. But it's like that's how Gemini, like strong and Gemini energy. It's very like they have a lot to say. Like they'll type it all out, and it's great. I love it. I love it.
So
What do you guys think, like, when there's, like, houses or signs in your birth chart where there's no planets at all?
Leo.
I don't know. I've never.
I was kind of talking to, like, Crystal or Penny, who, like, actually
is
know
that?
what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. We're looking at that like
It'd
what?
be great if you guys could help me out a little bit.
Well, I think, it's like, there's always, in my opinion, there's always something crossing through those houses, but they say that when you have an empty house, that's not something you need to learn, that you've already learned that lesson. You kind of already, had that.
Really?
But, I think when you really kind of look at it, sometimes one sign will cover 2 or 3 houses. So I'm not quite sure if that's what you're talking about or...
No, that is exactly. I've never heard that description, but that really resonates with me, actually.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. If you were born with Saturn in retrograde, I have a Saturn in Sagittarius, which my return's coming up in these.
Woo, mine too. Sorry.
But okay,
Yeah, you guys are pumped for your Saturn returns. All right,
Yes.
I like it. I like
I
that.
kind of am.
Capricorn rising. We live with Saturn. We know
Listen,
it.
listen. Okay, so I was born with Saturn in retrograde. It was in Sagittarius, but it's in the 12th house. So I don't really know what to expect for my return in December.
Okay. That's like a very passive Saturn placement. Like it's hard for you to express and really acknowledge where your problems are. I mean, my video about Saturn in the 12th house, I
didn't watch that, yeah.
It's such a weird placement, and a lot of times people don't know why they're having like all these problems, and it's like, it's really coming from being sensitive to energies and things like that. And having Saturn retrograde, it's like you go back and forth and learning how to deal with these problems. It's almost like you already know what you need to do, but then you just don't do it because you'd rather be a kid. And I have Saturn retrograde in my natal chart too.
Oh, okay.
Me too.
Yeah, I do too.
Ew.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
Well, I've also heard that when you have a Saturn retrograde, that it kind of reverses the curse. I like that one.
Really?
But I think that that it's like there's certain lessons that play out, and some of us, they're hard lessons. Like Saturn and Aries, it's hard lessons about accepting yourself and actually, embracing that you actually need to be selfish sometimes, or you need to be a pioneer, or you need to not worry about everybody else, which is what you end up struggling with, It's like the thing that you end up struggling with. But I think when there's a retrograde, it goes deeper. It's like you deal with different type of lessons. They're more behind the scenes. They're more internal.
Yeah.
And they're not always as public. So your curse or your what goes on in your life a lot of times can be a more internal struggle. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it makes sense.
sometimes when you go through a Saturn return, it can be very public. Sometimes it can be very internal.
Yeah.
So
I heard that with the retrograde Saturn, that it actually speeds up things. You know how Saturn usually delays? It's like, so it kind of like makes your lessons go faster. So even though personally you feel like you have been delayed more so, it actually is like speeding you up through the process rather than someone that has it direct.
I could see that. In the fact that when I do something that I know is bad karma and I do it anyway, literally it comes back to bite me within 24 hours. And I'm like, oh, it's because I did that. That's bad karma biting me in the ass right now. And I literally never do anything now that I think would be bad karma because I know it will literally bite me in the ass 10 times soon. It's crazy. Like, it happened, like, tangibly in the real world. It happened, and I just knew. That's why. And so I guess maybe that's because it's Saturn retrograde, but, like, also, I was going to ask, it's kind of weird that we all share that because it doesn't happen that often. I mean, but I guess I'd ask you guys, is Saturn, like, prominent in your chart? Because Saturn, for me, is kind of in the midst of a T-square with my sun and my moon, so it's kind of, it's like opposite my sun, practically.
Saturn is in a T2. My Saturn is opposite my sun and square my Pluto.
Yeah, like that, damn. What about you, Chris? Do you know?
About T-squares and what?
No, about where you're, like, is Saturn, like, harshly aspected in your natal chart?
It's my rolling planet.
Okay, yeah.
I know all about some fucking Saturn, okay?
Well, you guys are done in the 8th house, right?
Yes.
So that's really, like, intense and heavy, like, too, so I don't know.
Yeah, and then Moon and Scorpio. Give me
Yeah,
a
like,
break,
okay,
Jesus.
yeah. I think Saturn retrograde then maybe is, like, it does reverse the Saturn curse, but there's a lot of other lessons for us that are very clear and present in our chart.
My
That makes me
Saturn,
feel a little better.
my Saturn directly opposites my Mars, so it's not fun.
Huh. Do you feel lazy at all?
Yeah.
God, she's cute.
I'm a Taurus.
well, it's interesting for me because I have Saturn in Aries, and it's opposing Mercury and Venus in my chart, and my 7th house, which is in Libra. 7th, 8th house, I'm kind of on the cusp there. But that has been my whole life challenge. And of course, that's my south and north node also. So my whole life, my challenge has really been the desire to want to put other people first, I enjoy seeing other people successful. I want to connect with other people. But it's like no matter how much I try, no matter what happens, it blows up in my face. You know, it's like it blows up in my face or ends badly, you know. And so then you go back and you go, why, you know? And then when I look at that Saturn in Aries, it's like, you know what, there's a part of me that is meant to be a lone ranger and to set the path and to be a leader. And it's hard to put those two together because I desire both. And you either have to be a leader or you have to be the one that's helping everybody else, you know, and blending those two energies. It's really can be a challenge, you know. Yeah. So, I mean,
Crystal, what's your life path?
My life path, like my number?
Yeah.
I'm a 3.
Life path number. How do you figure that out?
There's a 3-chart method, or you can just go to Cafe Astrology and type in your stuff.
You could Google life path number calculator.
I would use the Cafe Astrology one just because it's correct for the master numbers. If you have
Do I seem like a 3? I think I'm a 3.
But I got a question. Do you go by your... Because my name's Christopher, but I go by Chris. Do you go by Christopher or Chris?
You're supposed to go by what it says on your birth certificate, but any alias you go by, any way you change your name, it does affect you as well because it affects the way people perceive you and just kind of your role in the world.
So if you normally just go by your first and last name...
Chris Strickland, that's what I go by.
Would that have its own number too?
Huh?
Yes.
Because when I calculated mine, I'm a 9, but it went Carolyn Mara Mayberry. But I normally just go Carolyn Mayberry, or sometimes, like, in business, I go Carolyn M. Mayberry. So I have all different numbers for all those different aliases. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's more power prominent with your, like, signature stuff, too. But in terms of your life path number, it doesn't actually constitute with your...
So your full name is what you should go by to determine your life path number?
No, your life path number is just your date of birth numbers.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Your destiny number, I believe, right, Penny? It's destiny number that's your name. Your full birth chart name, like your birth name and your birth certificate, is your destiny number.
I'm gonna try to figure out my life path number.
I'm not that good with numerology. Like, I actually don't even process numbers that well, and I was talking to Walter about this. Like, I used to be really good at math, and I had a head injury that ever since that happened, like, I haven't been able to process numbers when I look at them anymore. Like, I can barely even read them, and I've kind of been using astrology and numerology to relearn that. And literally, if I'm trying to count or add something, I'll like use the signs in the houses of astrology to help me figure it out.
Right. I always have a calculator with me because I suck at math. Like,
I do too. Oh my god.
Like, I'm getting better because I literally do math all day, every day. That's my job now. But like.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go. What's your life path number?
7.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I honestly don't know what any of them mean except 9.
Oh, I know them all.
7. 7's like, they take a lot of...
Walter, can you explain it? Or, I'm sorry, Penny, you're the birthday girl, go.
Yeah.
They take a lot of alone time to learn and reflect things, and, like, they normally like to read a lot, and they do, in my experience, they do like to stay up to date with, like, current events and stuff, and, I mean, you might have your strong group of friends, but you're really big on alone time, and, like, some of the...
Oh, yeah, I'm always alone.
Yeah.
Always.
7's also very big on your main path is to actually explore, like, the spiritual realms and bring that knowledge to yourself. Because basically, what the premise is that your past life incarnations, you've been really big on science, like, and that's one of your, like, you look at things from a more scientific and logical approach. And now this life you're trying to find, like, the spiritual side and include that in more, so.
Oh, okay.
Damn, Walter!
Get it.
I'm the
What's a
oldest one
9?
here. No, I'm playing. 9's actually one of my favorite. Me and Penny always disagree about this one. But
I know Penny doesn't like us. I watched her first impression video. But what's your
I
take
love
on
9s because 9s are they're here to pretty much. It's like their life. This is like one of their final lives as they're giving back to other people, but not in a kind of oh, I'm gonna go help you with that. I'll just tell you what to do, but if you don't do it, then that's not my problem. You sink or swim. It's kind of you're the teacher kind of, but not in a kind of a way that the master numbers are, because you're here for still your own fulfillment, but you feel like you have that you've done it all kind of approach. You're here just to help humanity on a larger level.
No.
9 is a very big humanitarian number. Do you actually have a lot of things in your 11th house or in the sign of Aquarius?
My moon is in the 11th house.
What do you guys think about the 12th house in Aquarius? Any thoughts?
Oh my God, that would be so that would be fucking. That would be you don't even know what you feel Well, is that yours? Of course it is.
She's like, wait, hold on. No, I've heard different things, and it's just you go through different stages where you study different parts of your chart, and you guys have so many different cool, things that you talk about. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on it.
To me,
any one of you.
What my heart tells me is that it's kind of a detached approach to your own subconscious, so it takes a lot of work in order for you to really get in touch with your subconscious, unconscious self, your higher self. You're a Pisces moon and rising, so you are so in touch with your spirit, but if Aquarius, which is detachment, but also very intellectual, so very smart and very aware and completely futuristic about and totally understanding of all of the infinite possibilities of life and the universe, etc., and God and the universe. But it's hard to connect that to your Pisces because it's so detached in Aquarius.
I think that's true. It's the Pisces energy. I can tell you how other people feel. I can feel how other people feel. But when it comes to actually, like you're saying, connecting with myself, it's I like to see myself more like a case study. If I look at myself, if I look at it through astrology like I'm another person, I can look at it. But to actually connect to it for my own personal it's so intense to me that I have to
pretend I'm somebody else looking at myself. It's weird, but
that's fascinating.
So yeah. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You were talking about that. I just had another question. So.
Oh no.
Was that Chris? Were you going to comment on that? Someone started to say something, or was it Walter?
Yeah, it was me, Walter.
Oh.
I was going to say that I feel like that would be the hard challenges that. When I think of the 12th house, I'm going straight to the unknown, the aspect of you that it's hidden from yourself. And so when you're trying to look at yourself through the lens of your an outsider, I feel the scary part would be not being completely looking at yourself because it's a deceptive form of yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's you're creating kind of an ideal image of what you're trying to look at, but not actually seeing the authentic side because it's hidden. So
yeah, hey, how's your baby doing? Oh, she just left.
What was your question, Tamara?
I'm just
gonna go pee, y'all. I'll be right back.
Because I don't know a whole lot about this, I'm learning about it, but I don't know a lot. So you guys heard what Penny said I was, the triple Aquarius. What does that mean?
Well, Aquarius is an air sign, so let's just start with the basics. Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac. It rules the 11th house. So there's 12 houses, so it's second to last. So it's very mature and pretty wise of a sign, if you ask me. They're an air sign, so they're intellectual more than they are feeling or very energy oriented. And something about Aquarius, well, first of all, your ruling planet is Uranus, which is extremely important because it's your moon, sun, and rising. So things happen, like you kind of go with the flow and shit just happens because everything's really a surprise with Uranus. But Aquarius is very detached. So, like, I personally love them because they're so weird and they don't conform at all to society. But they're very detached, so in personal relationships, it's like if you're not an Aquarius and you're in a relationship or a friendship, etc., with an Aquarius, it's hard to really understand how they actually feel about you, even though you guys do, you know, really care about your friends. You have tons of friends. As a triple Aquarius, I'm sure your network is gigantic if you really got down to it. You know, that's the thing about Aquarius is they rule kind of like the mass. But yeah, that's my take. Penny, what do you think?
Aquarius is all about like ideas and revolution and things like that, and seeing things that are beyond yourself, and especially like having your sun in the 12th house. It's like it's really just seeing situations and having an objective point of view.
Yeah.
I'll give you a cool example of an Aquarius, because I've had a lot of Aquariuses in my life, interestingly enough. But this is a more practical example, because I think in practical terms. But I've been writing this book, and it's a children's book. And on the property that I live on, there once was a Native American tribe, the Luiseño Indians. All right. So as a Pisces, I pick up on like these stories, like these. I picture characters. You know, I don't know if they were really the ones that were there, but I get pictures of them, and so I write about them. So I had a friend of mine come over, and she had 7 planets in Aquarius. All right, I've never met anybody with that much Aquarius in my life.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And I was kind of nervous about it and everything. And we had like this drum circle party, and she came over and she pulled me aside and she said, "I need to talk to you." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm scared." And she said, she goes, and she starts telling me that she can see all the Indians, okay? She can see them all, and she's talking to them all, and I cannot see them, but I can visualize them, okay? And so anyway, I had written a character in the story with my Piscean imagination, and the character was an old grandmother, okay? And this is just a weird Aquarius story. So I didn't tell anybody about my new character, who's the grandmother of the tribe, all right? I just been writing about her. So we're sitting outside, and all of a sudden she looks at me and she says, "Oh my gosh, there's a grandmother right next to you, and I can see her." And I'm like, "You are freaking me out so bad. I'm getting like yelled." And she's talking to the grandmother. Okay, I don't know what she said. She goes, "I have never met, this property is so chatty," and she's getting all these messages. Well, she's basically a psychic channeler. With 7 planets in Aquarius, she's learned how to use this gift. She doesn't even tell everybody about it, but she basically told me my whole entire story, every character, and who they were, and I didn't tell anybody. Wow. And she said she could see every character. So there's an Aquarius and a Pisces energy working together on a book.
Nice.
Wow.
See, I get that a lot, though. I do that. I get people freaked out. Like, I was like this when you said that, because I will pull people aside and I'll be like, "I need to talk to you." And they're always afraid. You know, they're like, "Oh, my God, what?" You know? And I don't mean to come on like that, I guess. But then, like, I will have, like, messages for them that I've heard. And then they look at me like I'm crazy. Then they get mad at me and stuff. Because I'm not very good at, like, actually giving them the messages. Because I don't know, I'm kind of a behind the scenes type person, I guess. But yeah, it kind of drives me crazy because like it's like having a million radio stations going on at once, and you're trying to pick out something, you know?
That's what she said. She was at my house, and she said that she doesn't normally, like, just give readings, but some friends had invited her over because I had been having some experiences, and they felt like she could help me. And I had never seen anybody do that. She said, I can hear so many voices around you right now. And I was like, no wonder. But
yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's crazy. So there's, okay.
What I love is, like, you know, going into like some of the professions I'm looking at going into. I've actually had to take psychological testing, and one of the things is, have you had any paranormal experiences, or have you seen me talk to ghosts?
Oh no!
I always put no, because I know what they're gonna think if I say yes, you know. But I'm just sitting here like, yeah, that's a lie. You know?
Right.
But I'm not going to tell them that, you know, because next thing you know, I'm going to be, like, on a one-way train to Funnyville, you know. Like,
yeah, no. That's how you know you're actually smart and you know your shit, when you fucking know it's a trap. No, but, like, I've had experiences like that, too.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
You know what? It's taken me my whole entire life to learn about this Piscean energy, and I started later in astrology, and I think it's so cool that you guys, you know, I don't know all the age groups, but a lot of younger that are getting to know yourselves and understand yourselves so much earlier to develop it, because when you have these gifts and you spend your whole life not able to communicate them, and finally one day somebody gives you the answers and you're not crazy, boy, it's really a revelation, and then you just blossom. So it just takes time to develop and learn how to use them and where to use them.
I guess that's why I ask about it, is because, like, it seems like everything I do, it doesn't matter what I do, anything I do, everything I do backfires on me. Like, I can do things in a different way than I did before, and it will still backfire on me. Like,
what are your intentions?
End up in the same spots.
But what are the intentions?
Well, like, you know, I've been trying to go to school so I could get a job with helping children. And every time that I try to do that, I end up with some sort of family emergency that screws school up, or I end up sick, or something happens to screw up schooling. So once again, for the third time, I'm not in school anymore. And, like, money situations, same thing. Well, and, you know, it's not exactly that I'm trying to be selfish with things. You know, I really want to help others, and I want things to be okay so I can eventually do what I want to do to help other people. And it just seems like everything falls apart after a little bit, and I don't know what it is I'm doing wrong, but, you know, it's so amazing to hear you guys talking about, like, all these different things that are blocks and stuff that you guys know about, and I'm sitting there like, I want to know what mine are.
Welcome to Saturn.
Yeah.
Well, I'm one of those old classic people that believe that Aquarius is also co-ruled with Saturn. So, I mean, there would be a lot of Saturnian energy along with your three prominent signs. So, Saturn loves to give us hurdles. It means you really have to work hard for it.
And for me, definitely, that is definitely a very, very good take on it, now that I think about it. But for me, when you were telling me your story, Tamara, I was thinking that maybe the universe is encouraging you to go after positions where you can help children that a degree isn't required. Because why get yourself into all this debt? Like, I think you should try and just go after those positions. Do you have any experience in childcare? Because if you do, you should definitely play that up. If you don't,
yeah, a little bit.
You do. Okay, so good. Like, you don't need a degree. Like, this is the meritocracy we live in. I think it's bullshit. You don't want to put yourself through tons and tons of debt when the only reason why you actually want to go to school is because you feel that's the only way you can get a good job in the field that you're passionate about, which is childcare and child development. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I want to work in helping kids in hospitals who are sick.
Helping kids in hospitals.
Because I have two rare diseases myself, you know.
Where did Penny go?
Yeah, come on, Penny.
You, Chris, all I need is like a couch or something. I don't know.
I know! This is like so therapeutical. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll do astrological.
She's a fucking Leo. Come on now. The attention goes on her. It's her birthday. Where is she? I just see like a blank little still right there.
I wanted to ask.
It's a cute still though.
It is a cute still, but where the hell is she?
Yeah, wait. You need to put on. You have to unclick your.
You might be laying the baby down.
You're muting your camera.
Huh?
Penny?
Wait, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Really?
Penny, I got a question for you.
What's that?
You see me now?
Now look.
There you are! Oh, you're so pretty.
There!
Penny!
What happened? Okay.
I don't see anything.
We got sidetracked
there
with
you are.
everybody else's business.
She is too
Penny, what's
cute.
your favorite aspect in astrology?
Like, do you mean like literal aspect or like placement or?
Yeah. What would you say that would be?
Oh God, that's such a hard question. I don't know. Just for really.
Oh, baby girl. Oh, Jade. She's so cute. Oh.
I'm gonna say I like my Venus trine Neptune right now. Yeah. Well,
Hey, Penny. What do you think about your Mars square Venus? Because we both share that aspect.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Don't get me started on Mars square Venus. Okay, for one, it's like you can't really be mean without like. There's a little bit of restriction when you're mad at someone. You can't just be all out mean. You want to be like a little bit nice and tactful at the same time too. But also, I know some people like might not like me mentioning this because some people might be like, oh, I have Mars square Venus and like I'm like so masculine or so feminine or whatever. But I think everyone who has Mars square Venus, they sort of have a battle of those two energies within them. And there's been a time when they've felt like they're not completely female or they're not completely male or they're just like.
Hey, that's me. That's me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that way. When I was little, I had such a strong fear of growing boobs. And like I tend to like to take on more masculine roles. And I'm not saying that I don't like being female because.
Right.
And I think I've become very feminine. You know, I have a baby. I'm wearing a pink shirt.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I'm a gay guy, so I get split in between. Yeah. I don't know if I want to be feminine. I don't know if I want to be masculine. Sometimes I'm masculine because I'm a Leo. Come on.
That is interesting. Like, one of my transgender friends, she has Mars square Venus as well, and it's funny because her Mars and Venus are actually like mine but switched. She has Mars in Virgo and Venus in Gemini, and I have Mars in Gemini and Venus in Virgo.
I have Venus in Virgo and Mars in Virgo conjunct.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's interesting, Chris?
What?
And it's the thing that I love most about Scorpio men. Now, you have a moon in Scorpio, is that correct?
Right.
Right. Well, one thing about Scorpio men that a lot of people don't know is they are the most connected and understanding of women. Like, they understand women's emotions. They are the ones, like, if a woman's talking to you, where other men, and this is whether they're masculine or feminine, this is just the energy that the Scorpio man is so intuitive that they understand like the emotional side of women. And you know, I think that's a beautiful attribute. You know, I think that's an amazing attribute. And that might be some of the conflict too that you feel like as a Leo, as that Leo energy.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Is the king, okay? But the Scorpio man, and like I said, it doesn't matter where they come off, you have this intuitive ability of women, and I mean, my husband has a Mars in Scorpio, and it's like, he knows my cycles before I know my cycles. I mean, he's so in tune with me as a woman. He's more in tune than I am, and it's just natural for him. Like, he understands how women think, and a lot of women will be drawn to Scorpio men for that reason, because it's like, finally, a man who can understand us.
Right.
So I don't know, I just felt like maybe sharing that with you, that it's a beautiful gift, but
It's a gift as well as a curse.
yeah, it's a hard thing to understand because you've
I
got
take
that
it as a gift.
square.
I take it as a gift, though. I really
I
do.
would. You've got the square between I'm the king, I have royal blood, and yet I can go to the depth of emotion with you as a person. And so it's probably a little conflicting within you, but when you integrate the two of those powerful energies, you're an amazing person, and
Thank you.
so I don't know.
I love flattery.
He's like, oh, tell me some
Tell me some more about myself.
Love it, though.
I hate to cut y'all off, but I got to get up early in the morning for a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Good night. Thanks for coming.
It was lovely to meet you, Chris.
I love meeting all of you. Penny, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm so glad this didn't turn out as awkward as I thought it would be.
Yay!
And thank you, Chris, for all your comments on my YouTube channel, because I appreciate them. I always appreciate them.
No problem. You're awesome. You make awesome videos.
Oh, thanks.
Bye, y'all.
Definitely
Chris.
watching y'all.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
So, Walter, what was it you were telling me about Scorpios and how they have, how you interpret the different decons of Scorpio?
Oh, yes. Well, I'd like to first say that us Tauruses are not chopped liver compared to our Scorpio rivals. I am a Taurus that opposes Pluto, directly opposes Pluto. So I'm like half breed of Scorpio. But as I tell all the time, I'm like part Scorpio. But I think that I've met a lot of Scorpios in my life, and I feel like I love Scorpios. I think it's an opposition to Pluto that I have, plus I have like Moon in the first house, so I love to get to know people on a very deep level. And Scorpios, I feel like some of them are just nasty, and I feel like they're still in like that sun sign kind of Scorpio grossness where they have to like learn how to like work with other people. But then there's the other ones like the dove and the eagle, where I really do feel like they're genuinely like have like progressed on their own internal workings, and they're like it's just so fascinating to see like the different levels between Scorpios. And it doesn't matter like between if they're in late October or early November Scorpio. You can see it in all different types of people. Granted that everybody has their own aspects, but the core, like when you get to know somebody on their sun level, and you can see like some of them are just so bitter. You know what I mean? And some of them are just, they're so far removed from that bitterness, and they're just really here to like help and heal other people. And you can see that within the dichotomies, I think.
Yeah, I've met some Scorpios that I have really strong friendships with, and I mean, it's a really strong connection. They're very sweet, caring people, and they're loyal as well. Like once you have that point, it's going to last a long time, and it's going to mean a lot for them. I don't think Scorpios are one to like really take the people in their life for granted. I think they like really appreciate those deep connections that they find in life.
What do you think about Scorpio in the 8th house?
Oh, let me tell you.
I'm running the other way.
Well, my son...
I filled my 8th house and my 12th house now. Are you guys going to still be my friends?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, my son is in the 8th house, and I'm a Scorpio rising. I'm a 29-degree Scorpio rising.
Ooh.
What do you think about that, Walter?
That's fascinating.
You know,
I like your take on the different...
Carolyn, you have the exact same ascendant as my mommy.
Oh, shit. Really? I'm sorry.
So, I mean, anything at 29 degrees, that's like the final degree, and you're figuring out how to use that in the best way possible. And it's more extreme. Like, sometimes you can be a very nasty Scorpio-type person, but then other times you're like the perfect Scorpio. You're just like that wonderfully with a lot of dignity.
Right. Well, okay. So my sun is 25 degrees Cancer, so it kind of like loosely trines my ascendant. It's a nice scorp. But I also have a 28-degree Libra moon, which kind of balances me out. But like, I'll be honest, I feel that people don't really give me credit for as powerful as I really am, and so that like makes me like bitter about shit, and I want to like show people, but I don't actually. I feel like that's how that's the battle that I face in a previous lifetime, and that's like my gut instincts. But in this life, I'm like very controlled about how I interact with other people and whatnot.
What's your north and south node, if you don't mind me
My
interrupting?
north node is in Capricorn, and my south node is conjunct my sun in Cancer in the 8th house.
Oh, so are you going to the no? You're leaving the 8th house, so you're going to the
Yeah,
second
my
house.
north node's in the 2nd house in Capricorn.
Ah, my north node's in the 2nd house too.
Really?
Yeah, in Aries. Do you
I think
feel?
one
Do you?
thing. I think one thing interesting to note, Carolyn, is that most of the time, in the general reading, the Scorpio rising will have the MC or the 10th house in Leo, but you have got the 10th house in Virgo. And I think that's one of the things that makes a little bit of a difference for you, because the 10th house in Virgo, your eye, you see through the world. You've got that Virgonian critical eye on top of the eagle eye. And
Right.
you can also be overcritical on yourself when you come through. So
Definitely.
with Venus and Mars there. So, I'm familiar with the Virgo, and, it's like an internal conversation all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't understand. They think, well, Virgos don't like to be criticized, or they like to criticize, but Virgos are more self-critical on themselves. It's like you're always going through these pictures like file cabinets, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, trying to be perfect, trying to figure it out. We spend more time figuring out what we should do than actually doing it.
Yeah.
And so I think for the Scorpios that have the 10th house in Leo, they come out a little more open and expressive. You have to work harder at that, and also giving yourself a break. And just, laughing at your mistakes, or, just being silly, because your mind, you're going to see every detail, and you're going to also see every detail within yourself. So, it's a challenge, but there's a reason for it as well. With the moon in Libra, you could be an attorney, you could be a lawyer, you have so many things that you could be with that incredible eye. It's just learning to embrace it and how to use it over time. But I think that's, a little bit of a struggle, because as you come out, you're wanting to be seen as perfect. And, I understand that. It's like we put that pressure on ourselves. But if we laugh at ourselves, and other people aren't putting that pressure on us that we put on ourselves. So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, no, it does help. I understand. It's just, it's hard because then my Cancer sun, like, takes everything so personally. Like, even my own Virgo criticism of myself, like constructive criticism, I take personally. I'm like, oh, I wasn't perfect to begin with. Like, oh, God, that's so embarrassing. Like, embarrassment is the most horrible feeling for me to go through, because it really irritates my Cancer sun and my Libra moon, and it's like, you can't fear being embarrassed. That will be a huge hindrance on your life in so many different aspects. You have to get over that and just not be embarrassed, even if, like, you think you should be embarrassed, I don't know.
Carolyn, do you feel like you have a deep need to, like, when you find someone, to really put a lot of energy and time into them to help them succeed in life?
Yes, absolutely, I do. Yeah, I mean, I've been with my current boyfriend, who I am madly in love with. Like our composite chart, our Sun and Venus are conjunct in Leo in our composite chart, but natally, he's born on September 11th, 1988. Yes, he was born on September 11th. And so he's a Virgo. I'm a Cancer, and we've been together now for over 5 years, going on 6 years now. But it's interesting because his moon and sun are conjunct in Virgo, so he's born on a new moon, but they're in the 12th house. Just like Penny, like his sun is in the 12th. His sun and moon are in the 12th house, and then he's a Libra rising. So he was actually born on a solar eclipse too.
Oh wow, that's cool.
His north node's in Pisces, correct?
It is, yes.
So that means his south node's in Virgo.
Yep.
Fascinating.
And his sun and moon are both in Virgo too.
That's the one north node that I'm not
Virgo-
really familiar with, is the Pisces north node. I feel like they're trying to obtain like spirituality, but that's really vague, and that's all I really got from them.
Yeah, it's.
I think it's hard to
a little bit on that.
of a Pisces North Node because I see a lot of people who seem to struggle with it.
I think that particular South and North node, you know, they spend the first 30 years of their lives working so hard and trying to, you know, they usually will run their own business or work very hard, you know, almost workaholic. And then all of a sudden about 30 to 35, when that transition starts to happening, the desire starts to happen that they're like, I just want to move out on a cabin by a lake and read a book. You know, it's like they start desiring to slow down, and they can't do that anymore. They can't work in that drilling workaholicness that they've been, especially when you have the sun and south node conjunct. It's like an over, you know, working, you know, workaholism. But I think it's a beautiful thing when they transition to the north node, because it really does free them up to let go, to release, to want to have fun, to want to get out of the rat race, basically. And they look for that in their future. So.
Okay, I have a question then now. I'm intrigued by that sentiment. Is that, do you feel that some people around 30, 35 actually never transition well? Do you think some transition better, so more people stay kind of like stuck in their south node?
Yes. It's much more comfortable, and it's what you know, and also kind of depends on what other planetary alignments. For example, I have South Node in Libra, but I also have Mercury and Venus in Libra and the 7th house. So my whole life has had this very strong Libra theme. So now that I'm moving into the North Node of Aries, where I can actually put myself first, and I actually have a voice, and it was very uncomfortable for me to transition. In fact, all of my friends, they didn't know what to do with me, because suddenly I'm not putting up with their crap anymore, and I've got something to say. And, you know, really, it turned my whole life upside down making that transition, because I went from this person that was very codependent, putting everybody else first. I would die first before I would make somebody else feel uncomfortable. And all of a sudden, about 35 years old, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And people saw me as selfish, or they saw me as, you know, like I'm just, you know, doing what I want to do. But that's part of the North Node, was me learning to listen to my calling more. But interestingly enough, I think if you're open to it, I had a ton of Aries come into my life the last, you know, I'm going to be 46 this year. So the last 10 years, I have had Aries everywhere around me, like teaching me how to do it. Teaching me how to be okay with saying, I don't need anyone else's permission. And you know what? I don't need anyone else to tell me it's okay. Those are all new concepts for me. But I could see where if I didn't find astrology and didn't have the help of understanding, I think I would have gotten lost in a lot of depression during that
Right.
time feeling like a failure because I no longer wanted to be that person anymore.
Right. See, I feel like with me, because I have North Node in Aries as well, I'm in that, or I feel like I'm getting ready for that transition. Like I'm starting to notice that I put so much, because I also have my North Node's in Aries, but it's also in the second house. So I get like that kind of like double whammy, I feel, of like putting all my time and energy into other people. Because, you know, I look for them for also not only to find my own identity, but to find resources. And I usually gave a lot of resources to a lot of people, you know, and now I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, how am I going to succeed by myself? You know what I mean? Like, but that's what I think is really fascinating is that it's that kind of like blending the good qualities of the South Node too, like the diplomacy and how to work with other people, but also still making sure that you're doing what you actually want to do. And I think that on a level though, maybe this is just my own internal kind of perception of the world as a reflection of myself, but I honestly feel like a lot of people in our society right now is actually more prone to this codependency kind of lifestyle, and that society as a self needs to reevaluate the individual himself and try to move forward.
Well, you know, with Uranus moving into Aries, you know, that's brought on, it's kind of like it comes in and it shakes everything up. So, you know, plus we just went through the Saturn and Libra cycle, and it broke apart the unhealthy codependent relationship. So we've been, and then we've had Mars and Libra saying, you know what, this isn't going to work anymore either. So there is something happening right now that we're all moving towards, kind of like this authenticity, and that we all are having like our own independent, like taking a stand and being who we are, and yet we need each other, but we're healthier. We're all stronger people coming together instead of all these codependent people trying to figure it out and bring each other down, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. What do you think, Penny?
Well, I agree with what you're saying, and especially with Jupiter going into Leo now, it's just like, bam, like be who you are or get out. I feel like that's what this like Uranus and Aries and Jupiter and Leo is like throwing us into. But what I wanted to say about my North Node and my South Node is what's really weird is I feel like I was just kind of thrown in the direction of that, because growing up as a kid, like I always felt trapped. Like my parents didn't allow me to do a lot of things. They were trying to like be really protective of me, and I had to get out. I had to find my freedom because my North Node is in Sagittarius at 29 degrees. I never planned on, I mean, when I was growing up, I never thought I would get married. I never thought I would have a kid or anything like that. I mean, I just didn't see myself as that type of person, especially since like I said, I felt more masculine. And it's just like when it happened, I knew it was right. When I met my husband, like next thing I knew, I was traveling a lot. And one day I like literally woke up and I'm like, I want to have a baby. That's what happened.
That might have had something to do with where Mars was at, too. That's another indicator of opening up to wanting a baby is when you have your Mars return. I don't know if you guys know that as women, but that's
pretty sure Mars was conjunct my North Node when I decided I wanted to have a baby.
Now, you have a North Node in Sagittarius, but you're still really young, so you haven't really hit the whole North Node bridge. It really happens about 30, 35. And so, interestingly enough, you're going to feel trickles of it, though. You will feel trickles of it throughout your 20s, like little like raindrops. But when you really go through that transition, one of the beautiful things of North Node and Sag is that you will almost become, it's like becoming a teacher and almost even like a guru, you know. It's like that Sagittarius energy as you really get into those mature years of your life. You will really see all these relationships, this Gemini South Node and all this talking, you will move into some type of really neat specialty. So you're figuring it all out now, but it'll be really neat to see how that plays out for you. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I agree, especially because Penny has a Master 22. You got something to build there.
Wow.
You're supposed to build something, and I don't know what it is.
Penny,
You gotta hurry
to be
up and
honest
build.
with you,
Yeah?
I think that you really, like, underestimate yourself. Like, I was definitely going to be coming. And then when I saw, like, your posts, like, you don't have to come, don't worry, you don't gotta come, you know. I was like, girl, I'm coming. Don't tell me I don't have to come. Like, come on. You know? Like, you are really, really special, and I really appreciate your insight. And I think you really need to just accept it. You do know it. I know you know it, but you just gotta accept it and, like, express it. You don't have to keep up all your awesomeness all bottled up, you know? Like, you're really cool, and you're really smart, and you're very valuable, and our community loves you so much. And happy birthday.
See, this is why I love cancers.
Well, I'll say one thing before I got to head off. Penny was the first person to ever comment on one of my videos. I don't know how she found me, and it was so sweet because I was so scared to put him out there. I was coming out as a, closet astrologer, and I put it out there, and there was Penny. And I remember telling my husband, I got a comment, and he said, oh, from who? And I said, well, it's from the Wacko Witch. He goes, now what are you getting into? And I said, I don't know, but she was really nice. He was a little worried about what I was getting into, and I said, no, she's beautiful. And then I went and looked at your video, and I'm like, I love her.
Oh, nice. You know, I love watching other people's astrology videos, and that's why I don't want to try and put any other astrologers down, because I know this is going to sound like I'm putting myself down. I'm a fan before I'm anything else. Like, I don't need to be better than anyone else because I love what other people do, and there's nothing wrong with that.
We all have something to contribute.
Yeah.
That's what I love. That's what I love about this community, and it's really cool. Like, I've been a part of a few different, like, online movements, kind of, you could say. Like, I'm still part of the liberty movement and freedom movement, but the astrology community, we really, like, are a close-knit community of, like, YouTube bloggers and our fans, like, so many of whom don't feel comfortable and don't really want to be on air, which is completely fine, but it's, like, amazing that there are actually people that watch us and listen to what we have to say because they resonate with it. Like, that's what I love about astrology. It's really, like, a community here of people learning and teaching at the same time. Like, it's amazing. It's spectacular. And I love everyone here.
What do you have to say, Walter? What's your final word?
Who?
Did you go? You.
Oh, me.
What have you learned being around all of these women astrologers today?
I've watched. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Sorry. I've actually watched a couple of your videos each. I love. I'm very, like, inspired. You guys have, like, the courage and the authenticity to really put yourselves out there, really, like, build something. And I don't have that because I have a Scorpio midheaven, but but honestly, like, it's really, like, empowering. And I honestly, like, on a deep level, like, thank you, because, like, I feel like right now in the world we are really all trying to find our authentic self, and the more people out there that are saying you're not alone and here's some guidance is really important to everybody. I have a Master 33 number in numerology, which means I want to, like, help the world, and so it's really inspiring to me when I see so many other people, like, putting themselves out there. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay, if anyone wants to hear my professional description for the Life Path 33/6, it's like the fairy godmother of the world. You're like fairy godmother.
It's because I have.
What's really awesome though is like you're the kind of person though that all the deep wisdoms, and, like, you're the one who's studying, and, like, for people like us or like myself, you're the kind of person that I want to talk to about, like, the more deeper stuff that nobody else wants to talk about, you know. So it's like, I don't know. I love that. I love that side. When people have that, you know, it seems like you're unappreciated, but, you know, it's like, I'm sure that your wisdom and what you know, we could sit here for hours and discuss all kinds of deep astrological discussions. And people might not know that about you.
Yeah,
And,
that's true. And that's why I want her to start doing like regular hangouts.
Yeah, me and Penny have like long conversations about this stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys should invite me and Crystal because we'd totally come.
Yeah.
Well, I think it brings credibility to all of us, and also to realize that, I mean, there's millions of people out there, and, you know, different people are going to be attracted to different people at different times, and if we can all stand together and continue to build each other up instead of, you know, tear each other down, I think it's a beautiful thing, because it's hard to do what we do. It's hard to open up astrologically and to look into other people's lives and souls. And I know myself as a Pisces rising and moon, you know, when I do a chart, like if I have an appointment, I open up to it about an hour before the call. I mean, I am like taking on this whole entire person's life.
Right.
And I can't help but not do it that way. And then after I hang up, it takes me a while to let their life go. And
Right.
Yeah.
that's hard on me, but yet it's the greatest gift and the greatest thing I've ever done. But people don't really realize what we do and how helpful it can be, you know?
I mean,
I agree.
like I've said before, once I look at a chart, it is in my head until I get everything I need to say about it out. Like, it will be there. It will completely consume. A lot of times, like, when I do a chart reading, I sleep on it overnight, and I don't actually dream. Like, instead, I'm thinking about the reading. It's
And
crazy.
see, this is what, like, in my opinion, like, brings so much more, like, authenticity and, like, a deep kind of, like, something about each of you, like, that are speaking right now. Like, you putting your hearts and souls into this, and you're looking to really benefit your other people rather than, you know, like, a paycheck. And I know some people, like, they got that vibe off them. I'm not naming names or anything, but you just watch some of their videos, and I feel repulsed by them because I know deep down it feels like they're just out for a paycheck. And that's why I think that, like, it's really good about, like you said, building up the community so that people are actually able to help each other. Yeah, I think everyone should be compensated for their work. Like you just said, you put your whole time and energy into this. But, like, it's not your number one root cause of why you're doing all these things. And I think that's, to me, like, the heart that really matters in the end.
Yeah, very true.
I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people write me those long letters and different things, and I feel a certain obligation to somebody when they've taken the time to pour their heart out to me from a video that I put out there, that they feel that comfortable, and, you know, I'm going to reply, because that, you know, that is part of what this is all about. And if I get a reading out of it or don't get a reading out of it, it's just not what's important at that moment. I mean, obviously, you know, it is a lot of work, and you know, we have to eat, so it is appreciated when people understand that. But we hate to have to ask for it, because I wish money wasn't even involved, because this is such an incredible gift to have, and so many people can be helped and changed, you know?
I mean, personally, there's a part of me that hates money, and I think so many of us feel this way because just the way money makes people act, and knowing that we need to survive, like, even though we're domesticated, there's still, like, that survival instinct, that need to compete, and some people don't always have the nicest ways of getting money because they just feel like they need it. And even when they have enough to survive, I feel like it's so easy for any of us, and I'm not saying I'm immune to this or above it, it's so easy for any of us to get to the point where we just want more, 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 and we're just trying to find some sort of satisfaction from that. We're, like, trying to fill some, like, empty void in our life because we feel like money's going to make us feel better. And I don't think that's...
She's like, it's not going to make you feel better, dumbasses!
I mean, money, deserve it, but we need to look within ourselves for satisfaction and never be just trying to pull in these outside sources. And even, like, people who try to look to relationships for satisfaction, I mean, I think I'm guilty of that as well, and that's part of the reason why I had to leave my marriage and all that. But I mean, you just always have to come back to looking within. That's what I think.
Right, and I think that that's something that, like, another topic for another time, but not to get too expensive, but, like, it's like, I feel like society, the ones that we've all endured, has culturally have addictions plaguing all of us. Like, you know, we have become where addiction's the norm, whether it's addiction with the relationship that you're codependent or the narcissist or whatever you know, we have this kind of notions of all these different intrinsical things that connect us that have like went to the wayside, and you know, and I think that's why it's so incredibly moving for like real people to say, wait a minute, it's time for us to look back at who we actually are, rather than just keep going down the road and kicking the can further down the. I don't know.
One
if
thing
that makes sense.
I totally agree with that. And one thing it's hard because a lot of the examples that we have, you know, I watch all the different channels, and you know, the channels that I respect are the people that are, you know, doing those monthly committed videos, not asking for anything, pouring their hearts into them. And yet somebody can come along and they almost get looked at like the celebrity, and people are throwing money at them. And the people that are like living this and breathing this and put so much into it, it's like, you know, it's hard when you're competing with people that are, you know, turning astrology into just complete celebrity. You know, yeah, it's okay to do a brand name. It's okay to, we got to, you know, make an image for what we're doing. It is a business, but I see so many people almost get like they're not even looking. They're just following, you know, like they're just following an image, and they're not really, you know, they're wanting these readings just because it's from someone that looks famous, you know, and it's like, I don't know. I wish that's the hard part of this, because astrology is such an intuitive, deep, personal thing. I you know, I wish it could be a different playing field on that, but it's not. And
I agree. I think that, you know, from my study, because I took a lot of studying. I'm originally from a psychology background, and then I got really intrigued into astrology and try to mix them together and find out like how to get deeper to. I guess this is my south node coming from the 8th house in Libra. I wanted to understand other people on a deep level to try to figure out who the hell I am. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to dive deeper and deeper into their psychology. And I feel like by doing so, I kind of understand people on a very deep level. But it feels like, you know, the psychology, like when it first started with Sigmund Freud and one of his like nephews or something like that, created this kind of like the capitalist model that we always need something new and exciting to like make us have that self-worth. And you know, we've grown up generations beyond that, where it's like that's part of our core values, is that internal feeling of lack, because we have to go out and search externally out for what we're actually seeking. And it's such a hard way to actually like go back and say, well, wait a minute, who am I and why do I actually want this?
Yeah.
You know, I need survival things, and it's, you know, danger's still very apparent, even though we have evolved from like, you know, the bears coming outside, unless they're depending on where you're living. But you know what I mean? But at the same time, we still have all these intrinsic needs. But this internal sense of lack is something that we have been, I feel, socially indoctrinated into, and that's just my belief on that. So that's why we always need this, like, you know, we need to compare ourselves to other people. We need to look at other people and say, like, oh, look at you. It's like, wait, why aren't you like me? Why aren't you doing what I'm doing? And because I don't feel that way, I have this inner resentment, and I can either express it or not express it. But either way, I want you to conform to what I have to conform to. And I think that's where, you know, a lot of this problem with the celebrity astrology and all this stuff that's going on these days is it's a quick way to bang a buck, because there's a lot of lost people out there because they don't really know who they are, because they have this internal nagging sense of lack. That's just my own 2 cents, but I don't know if I'm anywhere right, but.
Well, it's a challenge. It's what we're all facing, trying to figure out who we are and how to navigate in this world, because this astrology world is changing so quickly, and now we're seeing a lot of separation and different people going in different directions. So I feel like people like us who want to support one another and bring credibility to astrology and say, hey, you know what, Penny specializes in this, go over to her, and you know, Krista specializes in the animals, go over to her, and if we all know each other, we can build each other up, and I think there's enough people to help, you know, and I don't know. I guess that's just my Piscean, everybody hold hands and love each other thing. I don't know, but Kumbaya.
it.
Can we all sing Kumbaya?
After we sing happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go!
Happy
birthday to you.
Cut out.
Happy
birthday to
you. Happy birthday, dear Penny. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Thank you so much for having me, Penny. I gotta run. I'm sure most of you do too. But this was really, really, really fun. And I hope you have me on Facebook, Carolyn Mayberry. Follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let's just all keep in touch and do this again sometime. Yeah.
I'm gonna add the video description to include like YouTube links for anyone who in here who is on YouTube and show what they do.
Awesome.
Woo!
Very cool. You can find me, Cowgirl Astrologer, Crystal Lynn. I'm all over the place. Just Cowgirl Astrologer, and you'll find me.
All you have to do to find me is type in Isuki Kane. I'm everywhere.
All right. Good night. I love you guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Take
Bye.
care. Enjoy.
You guys are all awesome. Thank you.
Bye,
Take
Penny.
care.
Happy birthday.
Bye. Okay. What I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna go ahead and end this group right here. But I want to have another Google Hangout open to the public, so like any of my like random ass subscribers, anyone who's watching, they can just come in if they want to. So anyone who wants to come back for that, like probably in a couple hours, like around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, bye everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.
You guys. And I'm on her Facebook as Tamara Wagner, if you ever want to say hi. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye, Jade. Little cutie.
Say bye, Jade.
Say bye-bye. She's so cute. All right. See ya.